Whoa. Hi there, welcome to Turtle Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do 2 rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Pisces energy. How we might feel when we have hope and faith and belief in our dreams and letting love and intuition guide the decisions we make versus our more worldly nature of maybe fear and insecurity and pride or ego or codependency. And the bottom row is how we could struggle and battle within ourselves because we'd kind of like to, it's scary to do life differently. And there's a part of us that would like to keep staying in our comfort zone and just doing life the way we want to do it. So we're going to read it from that perspective. But at any given time in life, there are going to be some people that have won the battle within themselves and they are going to move forward in life differently. And when they move forward in life differently, there's probably going to be some people in their life that aren't moving forward in that way. The truth sets us free to live our life differently. We've either healed or grown or matured or expanded our perception of ourselves and the world around us in some way. And we all heal and grow and mature at different times in life, and we view life differently at different times. So there might be some people in our life that we won't be spending as much time with anymore. We might leave jobs, might kind of detach from some friendships or relationships. And we wish people peace, love, and joy, Hope everybody has hope and faith and belief in their dreams. Okay, we all tap into Pisces energy, so listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story. Listen to your intuition about other people in your life. The reason for the reading for the high vibe energy is the travel card, which kind of reminds me of the 8 of Wands. Being inspired to kind of wrap your brain around this game of life and to be inspired to keep having hope and faith and belief in love and in your dreams and in yourself and looking at life as an adventure to be lived. Life is about learning lessons. And we live our life at a certain phase of life when we've kind of learned what we were meant to learn from that phase of life, and we're willing and motivated and inspired to face our fears about going to the next stage of life. We do that, and we're all ready to do that at different times. So we did that age 15, age 18, age 21, age 25. And we're meant to do that throughout our life. Because that's life-giving energy, where we keep shedding old layers of ourselves, our more immature ways of being, to grow to our full potential. And high vibe people are motivated to do that. And you might have some people in your life that harness some more shadowy Sagittarius energy. We all tap into Sagittarius energy also. And maybe some people have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. That's kind of Pisces energy. And maybe they're kind of immature. And they might want to keep moving forward with you in a relationship, but they haven't learned some of the lessons that you've learned in life about how to work cooperatively with other people in a just and fair and balanced and loving way. Some people have more lessons to learn or more growing up to do. And some people just like to indulge themselves in relationships with loving, nurturing people. But the reason for the bottom row's reading is intuition and manifestation. So that can be people who kind of use their intuition in a shadowy way. Like, I think you're a really loving person. You'd put a lot of work and effort to make a relationship work. Can't I get in a relationship with you and you put in that work and effort to make a relationship work, but I use my intuition in a shadowy way and I'm not inspired to heal and grow and mature myself, but can I just come with you? And it's like, no. Let's go look at the bottom row first about what we could be tempted by. We start out with 2 cards not showing itself, and then we have the fear card, the dark thoughts, and the taking steps. At any point in time in our life, we do have some fears, some insecurities, some self-limiting beliefs about believing in ourselves, that we can manifest our dreams into reality. So we've all went through a more codependent stage, and, we're at whatever stage of life that we're at. We've learned the lessons that we've learned to whatever degree of stage of life that we're at. So then we can get in relationships with other people who are kind of on that same page of life, and we can have things that make us think that we're kind of on the same page. And in a way, in a lot of ways, we could have similar dreams. We could want to be in relationships. We want a job. We want a friend. And there's something there that attracts us, and commonality of some sort. But the only problem is sometimes we get in mismatched relationships where what we want to manifest is different. Some people want to keep moving forward, doing life the way they've done it, and they want you to keep moving forward with them that way, whatever fears or insecurities or self-limiting beliefs they have. They plan on just kind of ignoring them. Because the truth sets us free to live our life differently, and we'd have to be even inspired to want to deal with those issues. And some people don't. They'd rather just stay in denial of them, ignore them, and keep living life the way they've lived it. And then, we can kind of feel like our dreams aren't going to come into reality with those people. Because if we're inspired to shed some of our baggage, I don't want these same things to keep manipulating me. At every phase of life that we're at, we have some fears and insecurities. Well, then we kind of, like we did going from age 15 to being an 18-year-old, And then hopefully when we're living that phase of life, like being like an 18-year-old, eventually we're kind of, our intuition is kind of telling us, what, I think I'm ready to move forward in life, being more like a 21-year-old. And I'm going to do this work within myself to work through some of my fears and my insecurities about moving forward in life differently. And some of the people in our life weren't inspired to do that, and they could have been happy still living their life like that. And that's when we're kind of on different pages. Some people are ready to manifest moving forward in life differently, facing some of their fears to move forward in life differently and expand their perception of the world, or heal or grow and mature themselves. And other people are like, I'm fine still doing this. And we kind of wish them peace, and we come up and go do life differently. So what are these two cards? Sometimes when we get in a mismatched relationship, we didn't realize that we could have harnessed these energies differently, because we tend to think that people are like ourselves, that if they were in certain situations, I'm sure they'd take this action or view it this way. And then we realize that we harness these two energies differently. The loving man and planning an action in reverse. Well, some people do have hope and faith and belief in love, and they could have felt that the people that they got in a relationship with were the people they wanted to manifest with, and it would be to work together from love, work through our fears and insecurities, to take these steps to work through those, and then we go to the next phase of life. But some of the people we got in a relationship with, they can present themselves as a loving person, be like a loving, nurturing person in a lot of ways, but maybe their plan was to do this. And we don't do life any differently. We don't step out of our comfort zone. This is what I want to manifest, and I want to stay like at this phase of life. Because otherwise, I would have to work through some of my fears and my insecurities and self-limiting beliefs about willing to step out of my comfort zone, letting love and intuition guide me. Some people like to stay in their comfort zone. I know how to do life like this. I don't want to go to the next phase of life. And once we become adults, we all pop out in the world and we're in the population of adults. The whole big spectrum. We can find people anywhere on the spectrum that kind of live life like we do. Some people, they just want to get a job, be in a relationship, get married. I'm good. Other people want to get a job and learn that skill and those things, and then they want to go to the learn more. And there's some people that don't want to, No, I got a job, I'm in a relationship, I got married. This is it. Everybody has their own dreams, and Pisces energy is about what our dreams are. And some people, shadowy energy or more worldly focused energy can be, I always dreamed of making my life about these things of the world. I wanted these certain things. I have those certain things. I'm good. And high vibe energy is about looking at life from a higher perspective, becoming more independent in the world instead of kind of making the things of the world or your ego or your fear or your defensive nature kind of running your life. It's about, I am inspired to free myself from my more worldly egoic view of life so that I can go on this adventure. I have hope and faith and belief in love. I have my plan wasn't to stay in my fear and my insecurities and make my life more about conforming to the world and making my life about ego and image. Now, could it at one point have been that? Sure. But then some people listen to their intuition. Intuition was given to us as a gift that we have free will. And, you could look at, if you wanted, an analogy would be to look at human beings as like an apple tree. An apple tree has within it life force energy to grow to its full potential. 30 feet high, thousands of apples. But we as human beings can be like, I'm, 8 feet tall. I got 100 apples. I'm good. Kind of like, I got a job. I'm in a relationship. I'm married. Whatever. I'm good. It's like, well, why aren't you growing to your full potential? Why aren't you growing to 10 feet tall and making like 1,000 apples? You could give some of those apples away to others. Oh, no, I'm good. And it's just that we have free will and we just need to see the truth of it. What are people inspired to manifest? What inspires them? Some people don't want to grow up and mature themselves. That would be like shadowy Pisces, shadowy Sagittarius. I want to be an immature player. I might be someone who rejects love. If I do love, I could get hurt. I'd rather just indulge myself in relationships because I have fears and insecurities, maybe about people walking away. So I don't even want to invest in a deep, meaningful relationship. And maybe because they don't feel they could pick themselves back up again if it didn't work out the way they wanted. So some people just reject, I don't even want to do love. I have fear of love. I don't trust other people. But I want to be able to indulge in relationships. And eventually, sometimes people can get in relationships with people like them and they end up moving away from them. Because, it's like you seem to have a lot of fears and insecurities. You don't seem to offer yourself love, to your shadow nature. We've all got our more immature, shadowy nature. But if we let our more hopeful, believing, loving nature be in the driver's seat of our life, because we have this dualistic nature, and put our shadow nature in the back seat, and we are like a good mother, father, coach to ourselves to temper our fears and insecurities, then we move forward in life and we learn lessons in life and we overcome some of those fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs. Some people just haven't learned to love themselves yet. And they may never learn how to do that, If they keep having people distance themselves from them, you're bossy, you're controlling, you're immature, you have addictions, you're prideful, you're egotistical, you're self-centered, you're fearful, you're insecure. If they keep having people move away from them, are they ever willing to deal with the truth? Some people aren't. We can either stay in denial of the truth or live in fantasy land. Oh, no, I'm sure I can keep doing life the way I've done it. I'll just maybe try to find other people who are fearful or insecure, and basically people who are on the same page as they are again. Because again, we can all, at every stage of life, we have our fears and our insecurities. They get in relationships with people. Other people kind of do this inner work to deal with some of those issues to move forward in life. And then they have to go find another person it's kind of like someone perpetually staying like a 21-year-old or a 15-year-old or an 18-year-old per se. And they keep trying to find someone else who's on the same page as them because they just might not be willing. Sagittarius is fire sign energy. They might be people who don't want to take more creative, inspired action in their life. Be more bold and brave and confident. Don't want to step out of their comfort zone. So it's always trying to find people who are willing to live life the way they live it and then hope that those people will never leave. But I think the people who aren't dealing with their fears and insecurities, distrust, defensiveness, I think when they get in relationships with people, maybe they just have low self-esteem and they're always afraid that people will walk away from them. Well, why don't they do this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves about why they think people would walk away? But shadowy energy can be that instead of operating from their more loving nature to themselves and their more hopeful, believing nature, they could be operating from their more defensive, fearful, lack mentality nature. And they just haven't, it's like they think they can just bury those things. And they just haven't seen the truth yet. Oh, I'm supposed to love myself? And again, some people, shadowy energy can be codependent. I look outside myself for the answer. I don't take action because the masculine figures can represent us taking action in the world. Male, whether you're male or female, and the feminine figures can represent how we think and feel. So we could have some people who emotionally, here we have an emotional feminine figure, and the overarching reason for the reading is a feminine figure. But here in the dark thoughts is a masculine figure. And that can represent us being more in our ego nature. They want to manifest moving forward, but it can always be to be codependent on other people to help them, look like they're moving forward in life differently, to make them look like they're more stable or grounded or healed than they are. Or always looking to other people to help them navigate this, And there's nothing wrong with that if they were to go take action, to go get help from a professional, But they might just look to other people in the world to help them navigate this. Which is good to be in loving and supportive and encouraging relationships, but when we're in loving and encouraging and supportive relationships, we're supposed to do this work within ourselves to navigate through our own fears and insecurities, to free ourselves emotionally. And some people don't view life that way. It's like, no, I get in a relationship with other people, or I indulge my things and put in work and effort into these things in the world, like maybe to have status or image or power or wealth or look attractive or something, so that maybe other people who might have fear and insecurities will take action with me moving forward. Because I think that is the answer, but I just think they never do this work within themselves. And that ends up being a problem in a relationship, because if love isn't the driving factor of why they take action in the world, and it's more out of fear, insecurity, codependency, Well, I think eventually people who are trying to manifest a dream into reality from love could wonder, why are you in this relationship? Oh, well, because I'm fearful. Oh, because I'm insecure. Oh, because I don't know if I can manifest my dreams into reality. And it's like, it's one thing to want to work together with others to work through those things, but if there's some people, they could have just fear emotionally of dealing with their own dark thoughts. And so that in their ego stops them. You know, we have to deal with the truth if we want to free ourselves from it. And it blocks them from moving forward in a more emotionally inspired way. Let's go up to the top row. So they don't take action out of love. They take action more out of fear and insecurity. They may be with the planning and action in reverse. Kind of lack foresight. So let's go look up at the top row. So here we have a card not showing itself. Then we have great gratitude, a consciousness of lack, a creative endeavor, courage, true love, and milestone. Okay. I don't know these cards well enough to know what they say without being able to see them. So, again, when other people get in relationships with people who are loving and encouraging and supportive, you know, initially we can just kind of be working together with people. But hopefully when people have a loving, encouraging, supportive people in their life, hopefully they're inspired to be in an energy of gratefulness. Like, I'm appreciative that, you know, I have a job. I'm appreciative that I have people who are loving and encouraging in my life. And then hopefully they would do this work within themselves to work through some of their fears and insecurity and the consciousness of lack. Why don't I love and believe in myself? Why don't I appreciate what I bring to the table? What do I think I do bring to the table in a relationship, you know? Why don't I feel abundant within myself? And they do this work within themselves to go on this journey to temper their fears and insecurities about love and why they don't love themselves and what would make them stay in this energy, why they would get in relationships with people in this energy, maybe people who aren't very loving, people who try to play on our fear or insecurity or abandonment issues. Why would I stay in negative energy within myself? Why would I stay in relationships with other people who seem to want me to stay in negative energy? And we come into contact with all these different people to help us get clear about our truth. And if when we're going through these life experiences, we deal with some of those issues within ourselves, you know, we can learn the lesson in the milestone card of what we were meant to learn from that cycle of life. And part of that is just dealing with the truth. Where did I need to grow up and mature myself and heal? What about some of the people I was in relationships with? Where did they need to heal? We can meet people in the world that aren't as loving, as just, as fair, act with character and integrity, as warm, as giving, as loving as we would like to be them to be. And when are we going to get out of our codependent energy, looking to look to people outside of us to be the answer to our problems? You know, when we were children, we were all in more codependent energy, looking to like our parents and caregivers to provide us hopefully some emotional stability and security and to love and appreciate us. But there comes a time where we need to be inspired to fly out of the nest and to trust in our own wings, that we have it within us, and we have to take over that role of being our own best mother, father, coach, voice. And some of the people in our life, they had their own issues. And again, they weren't maybe as loving or as nurturing or as warm or as giving or as just or fair, as balanced as we would have liked. And that's kind of when we can offer love and compassion to other people, because when we see the truth of those issues within us and realize, all the other people in the world and people we've dealt with in our life, they have their own struggles and issues to deal with. And it's just love is the answer. That I offer love to understanding that everybody has these issues and things to overcome within themselves. And when I try to do this work to overcome it within myself, I can see why some people don't want to do it, because it's hard work. You have to invest a lot of time, energy, and effort to work through your fears and your insecurities and your lack mentality and why you don't love and believe in yourself and appreciate what you bring to the table, and to offer yourself love and encouragement and compassion and forgiveness. We're all like little children perpetually learning how to walk in this world, and life is difficult, right? And when you realize how much work it takes, you can understand why some people didn't do the work within themselves to free themselves from it. And that can set us off on this journey to operate from a place of love and compassion. And some of those relationships that we were in, it was all part of, again, trying to give us the free will choice to decide how we wanted to live our life, and accept that everybody has free will to live their life the way they want. But who do we want to invest our time, energy, and effort into? Who do we want to be in more involved relationships with? We can have all sorts of people in our life that we treat with love and respect and encouragement, but who are we going to want to move forward with in a more committed relationship that we invest more time and energy and effort into, like being friends, more involved friendships with, date and marry? Okay, let's go look at this card that kind of starts it all off. When we're going to move forward in life differently, what Pisces energy, maybe all of us in our Pisces energy aspect of self have to deal with, is working through how in a more worldly way we could have aligned with this energy instead of a more high vibrational way. And in order to move forward in life, we realized we had to quit harnessing this energy in a more worldly, egoic way and start harnessing it in a more high vibe way. The healing light in reverse. Okay. Well, for one, in a more shadowy way, we could have been rejecting loving ourselves. Healing light is being in life-giving energy. And maybe before, in our more codependent energy, we were also looking outside of ourselves instead of taking action to work through our fears and insecurities. We get another relationship with some people who have some of the same fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs that we have. And everybody's on the spectrum of different levels of that. And we just had to learn to love ourselves. And we realized if I don't learn to love myself, or if I keep trying to manifest with people who don't choose love and have hope and faith and belief in love, I'm just going to keep repeating these same patterns. And, again, we can look to other people to be the people who make us feel more safe and secure and loved and validate our worth and value. And there's a lot of people who want to be in a relationship with us when we're in that energy because we are fearful and afraid about if we can manifest our dreams into reality. And they're like, hey, let's get in a relationship, let's date, let's get married, be my friend. But then we realize that they're don't really have our best intentions at heart. They don't want us to heal and grow and mature ourselves. But we could have viewed them as a loving person that did have our best interest at heart. And then as time goes by, we can see that we could have been acting more out of fear and insecurity, codependency. They could have been also. And that we were rejecting loving ourselves. And so we realize I have to be in relationships with people who do have hope and faith and belief in love. I need to offer myself love. And the people in my life who don't have hope and faith and belief in love, I learned some valuable life experiences. From that life experience, I'm going to work through my own fears and insecurities to move forward in life, tempering my own fears and insecurities to move forward in life differently. So let's go see what's coming up. For people who harness some high vibe Pisces energy, what could be coming up that they don't see coming? It's kind of a lot, but we have the Seven of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the King of Wands. And the reason it came out is because of the Six of Cups. Both the Six and the Seven of Cups is Scorpio energy. You know, we have people in our life that we would like to have. We could have had a deep, meaningful relationship with them. We could have known them from childhood. We could have been in relationships with people that we weren't. We could have been repeating a pattern of the past where we could have been a more codependent energy, maybe trying to, maybe an our God Savior complex, getting in relationships with people like, oh, look at this person. They have fear and insecurity. I know I'm going to be like a healing light in their life. I am sure they are going to choose love. And we also need to see the truth that everybody's got free will. And if they were more motivated and inspired by love or to be more grown or matured, less shadowy they would be. And so we kind of accept the truth of where people are, and if they're not in very loving energy, we see through the illusion, and we can repeat this pattern because they could kind of subconsciously remind us of people in our life that we did view as loving, or people in our life that we kind of had some unresolved issues with, and we were trying to make someone who kind of reminded us of them to love us, you know, like to win, kind of in our ego nature. And we have to see through the illusion, reconcile ourselves with the past so that we're not kind of chasing after people who might have some kind of shadowy traits and characteristics. Let them live their life the way they want. If they're immature, bossy, controlling, fearful, whatever, we offer them love and encouragement, but we don't move forward with them in a more involved relationship. You know, they stay friends. And, you know, we see the truth. And that, you know, if some people show us that they're repeating an old pattern and they could try to confuse us about the truth, maybe try to create the illusion that they're motivated by being more bold and brave and confident in the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, and that they're motivated and inspired by love when we've already maybe seen that they're not, you know, that we see the truth of it and we wish people peace and love and joy, but we've already been there and done that. And I'm going to go find people who are more on the same page as me, who might be more bold and brave and confident and inspired by love, because I don't want to repeat that past pattern of a relationship. I want to be in relationships with people who've kind of seen through the illusion of their fear and their insecurities and their defensive nature to be more open and authentic and inspired by love, to give of themselves freely. And that means we're probably going to go through a period of feeling left out in the cold because there might be certain people that we need to distance ourselves from. And the Queen of Wands talks about emotionally, we're going to choose to be in life-giving energy, giving ourselves the things that we wish other people would have given us, listening to our intuition, treating ourselves in a loving manner, and investing in taking action in the world to do this work within ourselves to get to a place of peace about the past, reconciling ourselves with the past, seeing that some people have a lot of emotional confusion and fears and insecurities that they might not deal with that could make them act kind of in shadowy ways. And we just see the truth of it. And we move on, listen to our intuition, and go invest in relationships with people who are more on the same page as us, that we can have these more just and fair and balanced relationships. Because we can all get in our God Savior complex, and some of the people we were in relationships with, they like to play that role in people's life, but they like people to stay in their fear and insecurity and codependent nature. Where loving people might play that role in people's life, but they want them to heal and grow and mature themselves. And so we can view each other as loving people, but our intentions behind it are different. Some people do want people to heal and grow, and some people don't. And that's when even some of the people we viewed as very nurturing or loving people, and for a long time in our life they could have been, and we thought we could manifest a dream, but if we started to do this work within ourselves, and we were freeing ourselves from some of the things that manipulated us, that's when the other people could have become fearful, and their more shadowy nature could have come out, and trying to control us and keep us in our fear and our insecurity, and maybe even doing things and turning their back on us to make us feel left out in the cold. Like, I don't think you'll love and believe in yourself. I don't want to do the relationship the way you want. I want to keep doing it this way. I liked it when you were in your more codependent energy. I don't like it that you're healing and growing and being more bold and brave and confident because you're moving forward in life differently, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to detach from the way I viewed relationships and the type of relationship I want to be in. I want to keep doing this. And maybe if I turn my back to you and leave you out in the cold and quit offering love to you, maybe then you'll be confused, you'll feel left out in the cold, and maybe you'll come back and do the relationship the way I want. And for some people they will, and for some people they didn't. And we can be confused as to why people are acting that way in our life when we before had maybe viewed them as this loving person who wanted to work together with us cooperatively in a relationship, and then they seem like they don't. And that's kind of when we work through the emotional confusion of it, that do people have my best interests at heart? High vibe energy again about being independent, growing to our full potential. Who's trying to manipulate me? Who tries to keep me in my fear and my insecurity and my codependent nature? And who wants me to love and believe in myself and become all I can be and shine my authentic light and love myself and believe in myself? And people who love us don't try to manipulate us. They don't reject us. They don't leave us out in the cold. They don't turn their back to us. They work together with us in a just and fair and loving way. And that's when we see through the illusion that some people we thought we would work together with in this emotionally balanced, loving way, we kind of see the truth that they might operate from their more worldly, egoic, kind of more bossy and controlling nature. And it's kind of more about them. Their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego. They kind of want the scales of justice kind of tipped more in their favor. And, people can change over time. And So high vibe people are harnessing these energies in a high vibe way, where maybe before they did harness them, in a more shadowy way. Maybe they were more kind of about indulging in certain things of the world to feel better, getting in relationships to feel better, hadn't learned to love and believe in themselves, were repeating a pattern of the past. But while they were in those relationships, they did this work within themselves to work through some of those issues, and they freed themselves from them. And some of the people in their life didn't do that inner work within themselves. And then they didn't like it that other people did. But instead of doing the work within themselves to move forward with them, that's when they could have kind of acted in unkind, unjust, unfair, unloving ways. And people felt manipulated. And we have to see that everybody had the free will choice to be truthful and honest and just and fair and loving and face their own fears and their own lack mentality. To be grateful that they're in relationships with people who are healing and growing and tempering their fears and insecurities from love. And hey, this is someone I could move forward with in this way. And some people are doing that. The people that do have people in their life that are moving forward with them in this way, they're all doing this together. It's just that there could be some people in our world, in our workplace, in our family, in our life that aren't doing that. And some of those people are making the free will choice that I still am okay living my life the way I live it. And they might be happy to live their life that way forever. And if there's someone who likes to be in relationships and manipulate people and find people who are more fearful or insecure or codependent, and that's who they like to try to work with and manifest with, either to manipulate and control them, or because that's just what page they are on, we just need to see the truth of that too. So what's coming up for some of the people who might be in more worldly or shadowy Pisces energy that they might not see coming up? And some of the worldly shadowy people have already had loving people leave their life that no longer wanted to invest time, energy, and taking action with some of these people because they already saw the truth of some of these people's issues that they needed to deal with. And they might not want people to know that. Okay, it has to do with this card, and because of the Star card. What's this card? The King of Pentacles. Some people can right now or did get in relationships with people or tried to get in relationships with people. Could have married them, could have been a boss. And the other people, the high vibe people in their life, decided they didn't want to work there anymore, didn't want to marry them, wanted to get out of a marriage with them. Why? Because they looked at life from a higher perspective and they weren't willing to give up their dreams out of their fear or their insecurity or their codependency. And so they rejected this more worldly, we're willing to detach from the things of the world that they might have wanted, a job, stability, security, a relationship, because it wasn't aligned with their truth. And some of the people that could be happening with right now, they could be surprised that some people aren't willing to keep investing in them. Some of these people, by worldly standards, it could look good. And it's more about putting in this work and effort to have the stability and the security and the status and the image more out of fear or insecurity or staying in relationships for those reasons. And by worldly standards, it might look victorious and successful, but other people could have known that it was more from the ego and the image and the codependency, and they're not willing to stay in it for those reasons. Their dream is different than the other people's dreams. Some people are really fearful and concerned about not love, but manifesting these things in the world that they want to manifest. And that's what's more important to them. And if they have to move forward with people and stay in jobs they don't like, be in relationships with people they don't love, people in relationship with them that don't love them, they might not care so long as it makes them look like a shining star in the world. And what they don't see coming is there might be someone who wants to move forward with them in a relationship with them. They might present themselves as very victorious or successful in the world in some way, but what they're not, they either don't want to be in a more formal commitment or get married, or this can reference that what they're not showing people is they either could be very materialistic, that they haven't learned some lessons in life. They might look like they're a shining star in the world and that people should want to move forward with them, but they have a lot of life lessons they have learned. They have not freed themselves from things that manipulate them, and it might be more for the status or the image or the ego of it. And for some people that want to look like shining stars in the world, look at my life, look who I'm in a relationship with, look what I've manifested. If they are happy with it because by worldly standards it looks very victorious and successful, like they've got it all, they might be willing to stay in that relationship because both of them could be very fearful about love. And they don't want to work through why they so much align with their more worldly view of life than being more balanced within themselves to have the things of the world that we want, but also being in where we grow and mature and do love and treat other people the way we like to be treated. And some people, they've just chosen, I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. I'm more about the ego and the image and the money and materialism. That is what drives and motivates me. And I really want to look like I have manifested those things in the world, maybe because that's where they derive their sense of worth and value, and maybe they find, more deep, meaningful relationships, and that kind of like entering the danger zone. And, we're emotionally complex human beings. And some people are like, that's just too difficult to navigate. I don't even want to do that. I might like to try to create the illusion that I'm willing to bring that dream into reality, but they might prefer more emotionally shallow, superficial relationships. And they're just hoping that if they get people in a relationship with them, that if it looks good by worldly standards, that even if people see the truth of it, that people will keep moving forward with them anyway out of their own pride and ego and their want for those things of the world, or not wanting to leave to go believe in themselves and not be in a relationship if that's what's most important to them. Just because they could have fears of being more independent in the world. But some people will detach from these jobs, friendships, and relationships, and they're grateful for the lessons that they learn from it, to love themselves, believe in themselves, heal from some past pain, heartbreak, some self-limiting beliefs, and the whole experience made them be inspired to really stand up for what they believe in and what motivates and inspires them, instead of living more from their mind and their heart and being in relationships more out of fear or codependency. And for some people, that's why they were drawn and attracted to certain people, because this was someone they could learn that lesson from. Have a lot of commonalities in a lot of ways, and then to get clear about what your truth really was. And this life experience helps some people really get clear about what is important to them more so than letting their mind run their life, letting their fear run their life. And they were inspired to do this work within themselves. So yeah, they'd be grateful. And some other people aren't willing to put in that work and effort. And they choose to keep making decisions maybe more out of fear and insecurity. They might end up looking very successful in the world, but they might not be. If they do present themselves as loving, it could be more of a facade that they present. And then they get in the next relationship and they're fearful that person is going to love and believe in themselves and leave. And this person could be very codependent. And they could be looking for someone to kind of indulge them. And that could have been trying to be the healing light in someone's life. I want someone to indulge me. I have these things of the world. I do have these fears and insecurities. How about you keep putting in a lot of work and effort to try to make me view life differently? And as long as you're willing to stay in the relationship and put in that work and effort, it works for me. It's good for my ego and image. Makes me look victorious and successful. But oh, by the way, I am never going to align with my more loving, hopeful, believing nature. And some people saw the truth of that, and so some people left. And they're going to go try to find someone else who will maybe play that role in their life. And if those people are willing to do it, they might be willing to stay in it for the ego or the image or the status or whatever, or it makes them feel like a very loving person. It's just that they're not in a relationship with someone who's on the same page as them, that does equal give and take with them, that challenges them to grow and heal and mature themselves. It's kind of like more like a parent-child relationship instead of an adult-to-adult relationship. So there you go, Pisces energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.